you guys have probably been waiting for this one. Ever since we reviewed the infamous Ouija Shark, and I said that there was another movie that had been put out by the same production company, Wild Eye Releasing, that got like a lot of buzz, like when it first came out. This is the VelociPastor.
Yeah.
This movie
like this
was a fucking blast.
Yeah. This one was better than Ouija Shark.
Way better. Well, yeah, because the thing about it, and we said this in our Ouija Shark review, that I really liked the concept of Ouija Shark, but I wish it had been more ridiculous.
Yeah.
This one is more ridiculous.
Yeah, it's more ridiculous.
And it's a delight.
And I think it's more professionally done, too.
That, too, yeah. It seems less homemade.
Yeah, and the actors are really selling it. The motherfucker's just ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is exactly what I meant when I said that if you're going to do a ridiculous premise like this, just lean into the shit. So
it's a werewolf movie, basically.
Except
it's a priest.
And
he turns into a dinosaur. And this happened.
So good.
This happened because he went to China. And
I'm laughing just thinking about it.
And some ninjas were chasing a girl.
Yeah, there were ninjas in this too.
And who'd shot her, and they shot her full of arrows, and he tried to save her. And somehow she had a damn claw and her blood mixed together, and he got on him. And she passed on, being basically like being a werewolf. It's a were dinosaur.
Yeah.
So whenever he gets mad, it's kind of like the Hulk. He turns into a damn dinosaur, and this shit's just fucking ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
It is, but it's so great. And the thing about it, and here's like we'll go off on like a little bit of a philosophical discussion, because usually when they try to make a movie that's so bad it's good, that's a hard thing to try to do, because a lot of times I feel like they're trying too hard, or it's just not coming out right. You know what I mean? It's like, I think stuff like Sharknado, which actually they succeeded in doing that because they were trying to make a bad movie that was still actually
Nazis from the
funny.
center of the earth.
Right. It's like those succeeded, but I think most of them kind of fail. Like I said, they're not as funny as they think they are, shit like that. This one is exactly right. They hit this tone exactly right.
Yeah.
This movie cost $35,000 to make.
Man.
Apparently, the guy that directed it, Brendan Steer, he said that he first had the idea for doing this back in 2010. He said it was because when he was typing on his phone and he was typing Velociraptor, and it auto-corrected to VelociPastor, and he was like, holy shit, that's funny as hell. So he came up with this whole idea. So he tried to do a Kickstarter, and said that didn't work. He tried to do Indiegogo, and that didn't work. And then finally he found a private investor that was willing to give him $35,000 to make this movie. It actually came out in 2017, although at festivals and stuff, but so there had been a lot of buzz about it, but I think it didn't really kind of get a wide dissemination till later. And like I said, if you want to watch it, it's on Tubi for free, with a couple of commercials.
It's crazy. It's kind of like a Rudy Ray Moore flick. I mean, it's got pimps in it. It's got ninjas in it. It's got dinosaurs in it. It's got everything in it.
Pretty much everything.
Everything.
Nom flashbacks.
Yeah. Just fucking crazy. This pastor gets a girlfriend who's a hooker. She to me, she looked like Claire Danes.
A little bit, yeah.
I thought she did. And it's just fucking ridiculous, man. And it's fucking hilarious.
I mean,
when he turns into the fucking VelociPastor, when he turns into the dinosaur, I mean, it's obviously a foam rubber outfit, and they know it is.
Yeah.
And they're fucking with you. They're trolling you through the whole thing. I mean, it looks like something directly out of the old Land of the Lost fucking television
Not
series.
even that good.
And that when guys are falling, being killed, you can tell it's just shot with like a hand camera, and they zoom in on a dude as he's dramatically dying and shit. Like, wow, look at that. And then they just go on. And it's just fucking hilarious.
But it's
the way it's shot, and it's done. They're doing this shit on purpose.
Yeah, it's very self-aware.
Yeah.
But not in an obnoxious way. And like I said, that's very, very hard to pull off. But they did it. They just walked that fine line exactly right.
Yeah. And then when they don't have the money for the fucking effects, they just show something blank, and it just says, effect here, car burning.
Well, see, yeah, that's when I knew that I was going to love this movie. Because this happens, in the first, couple minutes of the film. So, the pastor, whose name is Doug, I think his name's Doug Jones.
Yeah.
And he's, all, happy with his parents and everything like that. His parents are, waving by the car, hey, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then it's, and then there's, a light, and then he's like, no! And then they show back, and then there's, a blank curb, and then it says, VFX, car on fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he's reacting to just the fucking, just to the cue card. It's just fucking hilarious.
Is it one thing that makes it is like actually the acting in this is actually good.
Yeah, they all care about it. They're all fucking selling.
Yeah, and they look like they're having a good time. It's like I think they played it really, really straight faced. They don't do like everything over dramatic. It's not winky or anything like that. They're just like playing it very straight faced and very they're just kind of genuine, and that like makes it 100 times funnier.
Yeah, and overacting.
Yeah, it's just like, and they're making fun of so many different tropes. It's like some of the best like shit in it isn't even real overt. You know what I mean? Like the shit about like where, his parents blow up and then like in the VFX, to come or whatever. And then the other priest is like, he's trying to console him and he's like, parents die. That's what they do. And like shit like that. Yeah. So he's like, why don't you go somewhere where God isn't? And then if he follows you there, then something or other. I don't know. So it's like sounded deep. So he's like, so he goes to China, which is clearly like just a section of a forest in New Jersey or something. And then it just says like China really big on it. And then he's like walking through and going, China, like it's supposed to be China. And it's like that same fucking, part of the forest later is used in like a Nam flashback.
Yeah, he's flashing back to Vietnam. The fucking uniforms are all fucked up. Everything is wrong. They're just out looking for the Viet Cong, smoking cigarettes. It's just hilarious.
And then like for some reason, like the older priest, Father Stewart, like for some reason his wife is there inexplicably and like she runs and gets blown up by a landmine.
And then his man goes, there's nothing more we can do for her. She's just a fucking splat.
She's just like this
big blood splat. Nothing more we can do for her.
And it's like the fucking dinosaurs fighting the hooker and the ninja and everything like that. And he's got like a big gap in the bottom, like where you climb into the costume. Yeah. And he has like a big, and even though it's called like the VelociPastor, it actually looks more like a T-Rex. It's not clearly not a Velociraptor.
And it's hard to tell when it's happening. I think it's supposed to be happening in the 80s because there's a lot of 80s tropes.
That's true. Because
it's hard to tell. It's hard to place it in time.
Yeah, because does anybody have cell phones? I can't remember if I saw anybody.
I think it's supposed to be happening in the 80s. That's why there's so many ninjas in it.
Yeah.
And
then
martial arts.
And everybody's martial arts are just like,
Yeah, it's just making the shit up.
It's just funny as shit. But like I said, it's really hard. The reason why it's so hard to do like a so bad it's a good movie like on purpose is because one of the things that make like the classic so bad it's good movies good is that they thought they were making a good movie, like Ed Wood, who thought he was making good movies, but they ended up just like hilariously bad just because he was so earnest and incompetent. So to do that on purpose is really, really difficult, but I feel like this one succeeded in spades. I mean, this movie, it's real short. It's only like an hour and 10 minutes long.
And yet it shouldn't be any longer.
No, it moves it along in a really good clip. The whole thing is just, it's a delight to watch, like from start. It is super fun. It's like there's really no slow parts. Mm-mm. It's like there's just every single scene has something hilarious going on.
I think a lot of the movies of the future will be short like this. I just think so.
Yeah, I mean, Ouija Shark was short too, but
there's going to be a lot of low budget movies that are fun to watch like this because you don't have to spend much money on them.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of bang for the buck, and you rent them for $2.99 and $3.99 off your fucking Xbox. This is really, there just should be an entire genre of these. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could make an industry out of it. And, same thing with horror. Yeah. Why are these 2-hour movies? What good? Fuck 2-hour movies. That's too long.
Well, it depends on what the story is.
It depends on the story, but it has to compete against fucking phones and tablets and... People are streaming from home. They don't have time to watch fucking 2 or 3 hours. Now, maybe they'll fucking watch a series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But a 2-hour movie, a lot of times that's overkill. A lot of these stories, you can tell them in an hour.
Yeah. Like I said, it depends on what the story is, but...
Yeah, most of them I could condense to an hour.
But this one, that's the thing about... and I'm not trying to shit on Ouija Shark because I did actually enjoy that, but I feel like
this is a lot better though.
Well, I feel like Ouija Shark had like a lot of filler and like a lot of stuff that, was too long. Like, people would walk through the woods for like 3 or 4 solid minutes because they were trying to like pad out the runtime. This one does not have that problem. No. It's like this one, I'm not saying there are like scenes, like love scenes and like there are like really funny fucking montages. Like he has like a training montage where he's like learning to be like bulk enough to be VelociPastor and stuff because he wants to go fight crime. Like his hooker girlfriend like convinces him to go kill all the bad people. And her pimp's name is Frankie Mermaid, you guys.
That's right, because he's swimming in bitches.
It's
just got a lot of funny shit in it.
It's just every single fucking...
Ouija Shark was funny. I liked Ouija Shark.
Yeah.
But VelociPastor, you can tell that this is a work of art. There's somebody this is a man's vision, and he's fucking worked on it. You know what I mean? This is it was made with love.
Oh yeah.
You can tell that everybody loved making this movie.
Yeah.
Ouija Shark kind of felt a little bit like they were just trying to knock it out. Just to get
yeah, because they're like, oh, Ouija boards are big, shark movies are big. Let's do one like that.
And it'll be a gag, and it'll be, people have fun. Let's just get this shit out.
Whereas, I feel like this one, VelociPastor, I mean,
it's more like a film.
Well, yeah, and like I said, he came up with the idea when he was still in film school, and so he spent this long like trying to raise money and trying to. And can we mention that there is at one point the older priest, Father Stewart, who was kind of his mentor, like Doug's mentor or whatever. He like when Doug says, "Hey, I turned into a dinosaur," like the first thing Father Stewart wants to do is get him an exorcism, and the exorcist is played by Voltaire.
Yeah.
Or Aurelio Voltaire, as he's known nowadays. Which, if you were into goth in the late 80s or early 90s, like to mid 90s, you for real will know who that is. Because I didn't notice like in the opening credits, but when they had the scene with the exorcist, is it Voltaire?
Yep. Now, that was, I told Jenny, but that was like when I was in Boston, that was my best friend's ex.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanya. That was Tanya's fucking ex.
And he's been, because I met him very briefly, like at a horror convention, like many years ago.
Him. Yeah, he's a good guy.
He came to iBar.
Yeah, talking.
Like after a show, and you were talking to him because you guys have a friend in common.
I was like, we got somebody in common, it's fucking, and he goes, Tanya? And he's like, yeah. We talk about Tanya's crazy ass.
Yeah, because he knows. Voltaire's
Tanya was this
ex-girlfriend.
fucking beautiful girl that worked for Chanel. And she's on my friends list. You can see her.
Yeah.
But
I was I was very surprised like to see Voltaire in this and he actually like did a really good job like as the exorcist, I thought. But it was like really funny. But there's a million reasons to like watch this movie. Seriously, get some beers. Get your friends on, like, whatever, have them come over, or if you don't want to do that, do it on, Zoom or whatever. And it's like, get everybody to watch this movie. It is just delightful. It's super fun. It's just crazy. And it knows what it is. And like I said, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is what I wish Ouija Shark had done more of. Because the premise of that was like so funny and like so stupid. I feel like it didn't live up to as funny as it could have been. This does.
It's a great film in the way that Bloodsport is a great film.
Yeah.
It's a great film in the way that Under Siege is a great film. Or I like fucking Hard to Kill.
I like this a lot better than any of those, though, that you mentioned. Yeah. I have to say, I had a lot more fun watching this one.
Bloodsport's pretty fucking ridiculous.
It is, but
Bloodsport's fucking ridiculous.
You're never going to be as ridiculous as a priest that can turn into a dinosaur.
Oh, it's taking it to another level.
And also there are ninjas that are Chinese, except one of them was speaking Korean. One of them's a white dude. Yeah. And they're all, like I said, all of this is done on purpose. It's done on purpose.
You could also tell that one of the ninjas was the same guy who played the fucking doctor, too.
Yeah, that also. It's just and I love the doctor. He was only in there for like, but he had like that thing on his head with the mirror, and it's like falling out, like it's too big, and he's like smoking in the office and shit like that. It's just, there's just all these little touches in there that it's just, I don't know. It's like, I feel like it shouldn't work, but it did. This is like sublime. This is a sublimely terrible on purpose movie, and they nailed the tone just right. Yep. It's hilarious.
It's also very upbeat.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a joy to watch. Yep. It's super fun. Yep. It's nothing like, because sometimes you see, especially like Asylum and all these other kind of like cheap jack, like knockoff horror movies, where everybody's like, what's the stupidest, three-headed shark attack, this, that, and the other.
And they're boring.
And then you watch him, and it's like, there's a couple funny scenes in there, but the rest of it's just kind of like boring, or it's just like exposition or whatever. This one is not boring. This one is just a lot of fun, and like you said, you can tell that there's like so much affection. It was made with like a lot of affection for the genre and for
the audience. Showing the audience shit, tongue-in-cheek shit. They know that
Yeah. So it's just, everything about this was just like delightful, and I just loved it, and
lots and lots of homomages.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. But like I said, not in an obnoxious, like hipster, wink wink kind of way. It's not like that at all. No. I think that's why it works, because it comes across as very genuine. And the acting like kind of portrays that. Like I said, they just really, really nailed it. And everybody should really, really watch this movie because it's just it made me so happy.
And it's up there for free.
It is. Yeah, go watch it. I mean, if you want to rent it and give the
I'd buy this
money
bitch on Blu-ray.
I would, and it's like really, I kind of hope. And actually, after we watched it, I was like, I kind of want to buy that because that was like it was a wonderful, wonderful movie.
Put that right next to Turbo Kid and Bloodsport.
Yeah. It's just really fun. It's just one of those kind of like, it's Friday night, Saturday night, let's get drunk and watch the VelociPastor.
Yeah.
And just watch this big humpback T-Rex with a big hole in the bottom where the dude crawls into the costume, beating
and he's fighting, and then people are running
and a hooker
falling
beating up
like they're dying and shit. Fucking cartwheels.
At the beginning, like before he becomes the VelociPastor, like when he's in China, and he like the woman that has the tooth or whatever that turns you into the
claw, I think.
It's a tooth or a claw or whatever it is, and she gets shot with an arrow like through the heart, and she's laying there. And I love that the pastor Doug, he comes up to her and says, "Are you hurt?" And there's like an arrow sticking out. There's blood everywhere.
Ridiculous.
It's so sweet. It is so funny.
Ridiculous.
And it's just you gotta see it. It's like there's so many so bad it's good movies that aspire to be this, and this is just exactly right. They just did exactly right. And I hope that they need to make some sequels to this because they kind of left it open to do that, right? I mean, I would totally watch a thing with a pastor who turns into a dinosaur and his hooker sidekick.
Yeah. I thought she died.
No, she didn't. Because
that's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, what they need to do is they need to have the part 2 has to have a kumite in it.
Yeah, see, they definitely need to do that.
It has to have a kumite.
I was watching another review of this because I mean everybody that I've seen that's reviewed this is pretty much the same thing that we said. It's like this is just like so fun.
Yeah.
Somebody in one of the comments in one of the videos, they said, "Oh, if they do a sequel, it should be like set with the same characters, but like at the end of the world or like Armageddon, it should be called Velociraptor."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, see, I would totally watch that. But yeah, so it's free on Tubi, or like I said, if you want to buy it, to give the guy some money, like to make some more movies, because this guy needs to make some more movies, because this has made me happier than like probably most movies that I've seen lately. It's just, I don't know, there was just something really, really charming about it. So
like I said, because it was made with love.
Yeah. So, and you can really, really tell. I mean, it really does come across. And like I said, if you're a goth fan and you know who Voltaire is, he's not in it. He's not in a really long time, but he is in it.
Yeah.
And you can tell he had a blast doing this as well. So, definitely check this one out. This one is super, super fun, and I recommend that everybody needs to see it like immediately.